Let's go down to Kokomo.
Day 41, Wednesday, the 25th of November, Roatan, Honduras. Yesterday in Cozumel, it was actually raining at times, although it was still very hot outside. After a lovely lunch of chicken and rice, followed by chocolate iced sponge cake and dark green jelly, I ventured off the ship and into the real world for a bit. It's very surreal to keep walking down the gangway and being in a different land each day. The ship is so vast you can barely sense it moving at times, and although I know I'm visiting all these faraway places, it doesn't really feel like I'm travelling at all, as I still wake up in my own bed at home each morning. I have to keep looking at maps to check where I actually am on the globe to believe that I'm really here. It reminds me of the Enid Blyton book, The Faraway Tree, that I used to adore as a child. Every time the characters in the stories, Joe, Bessie and Fanny, used to climb to the top of the tree, the world had changed to a new place, including the intriguingly named Land of Dame Slap. Today, the ship was in the same spot as last week in Cozumel, a tropical island just off mainland Mexico. I first popped to the large store to refill my depleted supplies of chocolate and hot sauce, and then went straight across the road to the no-name bar and quickly undressed before leaping in the bright blue water. The waves were fairly big today, and at one point, powering along with my head down and eyes screwed tightly shut to keep out the stinging salt water, I misjudged the timing and ended up with a mouthful of disgusting brine, which instantly made me gag. Thankfully, I managed to spray the revolting liquid out like a sperm whale emptying its blowhole before completely ingesting the vomit-inducing impromptu drink. How I wasn't actually sick, I don't know, but the intense salty taste remained in my mouth for a long time afterwards, even when I'd got out of the water to go home. I was relieved to find both my clothes and shopping still where I left them when I emerged from the ocean. This is about the 7th time I've gone off swimming alone, and been asked later on about the safety angle of entering the water without any company. I did admit that I am indeed very worried each time I head off that my clothes won't be there when I return. The concerned colleague tried to correct me, stating that they had meant what if I got into difficulties in the water or something. Well, yes, I just drowned then, I responded. But what would you do? Pushed my friend. Well, there's nothing I could do, as I'd already be dead, so there's no point really worrying about it. I then continued on to explain my main fear of having to return to the ship in just my bikini, with no name tag or crew card to be allowed back on board. I generally don't take my phone, wallet or valuables, or even a towel with me when I leave the ship. So it would just be my shorts and t-shirt, plus cheap sunglasses that I bought in CVS in Puerto Rico, and my 8-year-old bought in an airport temperamental watch that tells the time when it feels like it. I'm sure it will happen to me one day, and I guess the best I can hope for is that it makes an amusing story for this site, as I stand outside the ship, dripping wet and nearly naked, trying to convince the Nepalese security team that I really do live there and to let me back on. Otherwise, you could be reading about me getting deported for having no travel documents or clothes. The casino was a jolly and happening place last night, and I enjoyed dealing a couple of good games of roulette throughout the evening. Even more enjoyable was the yummy sushi that was on offer in the staff mess for supper, followed up by another generous helping of the same shade of green jelly. It was another late-ish finish, but I was done just before 4 a.m, so Michael from the Philippines, who is also my neighbour, and I scampered off to the crew mess to catch the last of the night shift dinner that served between 3 and 4. We were delighted to find cheese and turkey ham paninis on offer, and I set about using the hot press that they left out for us to heat them. This is the first cooking that I've done in over 5 weeks, and for once I actually enjoyed playing chef for a bit. I think the fact that everything was already prepared, and there was no washing up to do, helped enormously. We halved the melted cheese sandwich and chatted for ages about work and our real lives back home. Outside the window, the nearly full moon glistened off the dark waves, lighting up the normally invisible outside. Up ahead, we could also see the bright lights of another cruise ship that we appeared to be following. For dessert, I heated up a slice of the delicious rich chocolate cake that had been left out for us in the microwave to complete my hand-cooked snack. That counts as one of the few times in my life that I've actually enjoyed being in the kitchen, so to speak. Having found out a lot about each other's backgrounds, it was down to deck 3 and a shower before bed. Despite it being nearly 5:30 a.m, I wasn't tired and checked out the captain's scrolling log of information on Channel 1 of our TV. Interestingly, we were only 46.5 nautical miles from Honduras, so I decided it really was time to go to bed if I wanted to be up before lunch and enjoy a swim in the inviting Honduran sea, whilst tempting another passerby the opportunity to run off with my clothes. And that's all for day 41. Thanks for listening. Be sure to tune in for day 42's antics tomorrow. Same time, same place. Well, not literally, because this ship never stops. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a day. And if you're enjoying it, like and share it too. Thank you!